Well, I've called this technique the noble entry because, because that's what other people have called it. So I apologize if it sounds a little, I don't know, egotistical to be naming it after myself. I don't mean to come across that way. But the people in my Coach's Corner service that have been using it insisted that that's the name it should be called. Anyway, what's most important is what this technique does. And that is it gives you an entry method that allows you to keep your risk very small while simultaneously giving you a profit objective that's many times the risk. Now, maybe I wasn't the first one to come up with this, I don't know, but I hadn't seen it before, and it was definitely new to me when I first started using it. All I know is that it's a very effective technique, so I just hope that you all get lots of benefit from using it. Getting into a trade properly at the right price and at the right time is obviously a critical exercise and can be the defining difference between making it or not. Okay, so let's get on with it, and I'll show you this technique, which I found to be very effective, and so have a lot of my students. Okay, so why the big deal about the entry? Well, the whole idea with the actual entry into a trade is to put the trade on so that you have small risk and lots of reward potential, and that's exactly what this technique will do for you. What you don't want is taking small profits after incurring big risk, and yet, that's exactly the way a lot of people trade. So think of it, if you have rewards that are always way more than twice the risks, then you don't even have to win half the time to make money. In fact, just think about this. If you make only twice as much as you risk, you only need to be right 40% of the time to be profitable. Isn't that nice? Now, you know that in the scalping course and in my Coach's Guide CD course, to get into a trade, we simply identify an area of support or resistance and we just put our order in along with our stop and we wait. And this works very well most of the time because, if you've identified that the trend is, say, up on the higher time frames, then by going to a smaller time frame and buying a dip using a limit order at an expected area of price support, like a triple confluence of reasons, then you're taking a trade that's in alignment with what's happening on the higher time frame charts. And of course, the higher time frames have the higher strength. Okay? One of the problems with doing it this way is that the stop needs to be further away than with this enhanced technique that I'm about to show you. And if the stop is bigger, that means the risk is bigger per lot, and therefore the amount of lots you should trade needs to be reduced in order to keep your overall risk exposure to less than 2%. And by the way, I would really, really admonish you to never exceed this 2% number under any circumstances. I'll tell you right now, if you're serious about taking the professional approach, keep your risk at no more than 1%, because you'll find that it will really, really allow you to stay in the game during a string of losses without any significant damage to your trading account. I won't go into the details of risk management in this course, but I cover it thoroughly in the Coach's Guide course and in the scalping course. But what if you could reduce the amount of pips of risk needed in a trade? Well, that would mean that you could trade more lots and still maintain your overall risk at 1%, right? I'm going to go into some actual examples of this later on, but for now, just realize that it's a huge advantage because it means we have the chance to ramp up our trading account faster and yet at the same time keep our risk very small at all times. So let's get into it now and see how we can do this.